Real quick, before we get into the Season 4 recap, if you need a Season 3 recap, just hit the tab in the corner. If you need a complete Seasons 1 through 3 recap, there'll be another tab shortly. Just wait for that one. Now, Season 4 is going to kick off with the merger of Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang Karate. Although, it's clear they didn't really discuss things. Problem is, they have two different ideologies, with Miyagi-Do going defense and Eagle Fang going offense. But let's just say the relationship between Daniel and Johnny is rocky at first. It's a pretty rough first day. When Daniel gets home, he thinks maybe he can relax there. Wrong. Amanda has put in a new alarm system ever since the fight, but it's actually put her more on edge. He tries to make her feel better by just saying, I know this is less than ideal, and she looks at him and says, a boy was thrown through our window. I mean, if you would have told me a year ago that our family's safety depended on winning a karate tournament, I would have thought you were joking. Yet, here we are. He tells her, if Johnny and I can just work together, it gives us a great shot of ending all this. But Daniel has to admit that it's early, but so far they haven't been really able to work together. Over with Johnny that night, dinner's a little bit less stressful. He has dinner with Carmen, her mom, and Miguel. Carmen mentions to Miguel how she's happy that he's going out with Sam again. And then Miguel, being a horrible wingman, says, yeah, I'm not the only one getting back together with my ex. Johnny went on a date with his. It leads for a really uncomfortable conversation as they're doing dishes between Carmen and Johnny, where she says, I think it's better that we don't rush into anything. Now, one person noticeably absent from practice that day was Robbie. Robbie heads back to Cobra Kai to pick up his things, and he's caught by John Kreese, who tells him, you can still practice with us. But Robbie reminds him, I never actually joined the team. The master manipulator of John Kreese, though, goes to work, stroking Robbie's ego and telling him that he's actually more talented than his dad. He just needs the right training. Kreese leaves Robbie and he starts working out when Tori shows up. She starts ripping him for not being involved in the fight, and he says, what were you thinking? You'd break into their house, hurt Sam, and everything would be sunshine and roses? You're lucky they didn't call the cops. Tori shoots back, well, at least I'm not straddling the fence, because girls like Sam LaRusso think the world revolves around them. I mean, makes sense. All she has to do is make a puppy dog face and say please, and she gets whatever she wants. I mean, even after she dropped you, you're still wrapped right around her finger. He tells her that's not true, but she doesn't believe it. She then tells him, if you're going to stay on defense, this is not the right dojo for you. The next day, Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang combo meet again to start training for the All Valley. And this time they talked about things. They're basically going to split up. Eagle Fang outside, Miyagi-Do inside. Although, after a few minutes, it's obvious that doesn't work. As both Johnny and Daniel are outside trying to be cordial to each other, Hawk walks inside the dojo to get some water. Now, Hawk's supposed to be a part of Eagle Fang, but Hawk hasn't been accepted by anybody since he returned. He's getting his ass kicked in practice, and the Miyagi-Do people don't want anything to do with him because he kicked the crap out of him. He walks out of the dojo after getting chastised by some of the Miyagi-Do people, and he sees Daniel and says, Mr. LaRusso, I don't know where I fit in here. And he's catching Daniel right after arguing with Johnny. So Daniel snaps at him, what did you expect? You burned bridges with everybody here. And instead of arguing with him, Hawk just takes off. So day 2 actually went worse than day 1. As they're walking home, Johnny tells Miguel, there's just too much history between us. It's not going to work. Miguel tries to tell Johnny about Rocky 3. Rocky and Apollo working together to defeat Clubber Lang. But in order for those two to work together, somebody had to reach out. Somebody had to be the bigger man. So he implores Johnny to be that bigger guy. Reach out to Daniel, apologize. But he wasn't the only one pitching a sensei, because Sam did the exact same thing with her dad. But her dad and Johnny isn't the only relationship she wants to mend. She finds Robbie skateboarding and she apologizes for everything that happened, telling him that she still cares about him. She asks him to come back to the dojo, telling him how it would bring everybody together. But Robbie looks at her and says, I know this is going to be difficult for you, but for the first time in your life, you're not going to get what you want. And then he skates off. So she's 0 for 1. But she's 1 for 1 when Daniel shows up at Johnny's house and he's the first one to apologize. But even their apologies are painful. It's not long before the two are fighting and they just realize this isn't working. We tried, but we got to end it. We'll tell the kids tomorrow. When they show up the next day, they're shocked to find Hawk taking a sledgehammer to the fence. They ask him what he's doing, and Hawk decided that he would bring some unity to the group and literally build a bridge. Or, in this case, an Okinawan sparring deck. He saw a picture in the dojo from Mr. Miyagi's grandfather, so he decided that he would build one outside. The dimensions work out, and this changes Johnny and Daniel's thoughts of ending things. Now, after talking with Sam, Robbie went back to the dojo, but he went back to Cobra Kai. And when the remaining students, basically it's Tori, Kyler, and a couple of other no-names, show up, they're not too happy. They get even more pissed off when Robbie says, I'm going to lead class today. They start criticizing him, but he says, okay, I'll tell you what, if you can land one punch on me, I'll leave. And Robbie takes every single one of them out, including Tori. He tries to lend a hand to Tori to pick her up, and that's when she kicks him in the face. And he says, okay, a deal's a deal. I'll leave. But she says, no, come back. He then gets everybody in line and starts telling them that their enemies have bonded together to take them out. The deck is stacked against them, but luckily, they have the playbook. He is going to teach Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do karate. John Kreese then walks in and he hands over the class. And John Kreese was busy that day. He made a call to his old pal Terry Silver, but when Terry picked up the phone, he immediately hung up. Just like everybody else, he wants nothing to do with John Kreese. He's moved on. So Kreese went and tracked him down. And Terry Silver is now Terrence Silver, living a pretty lavish lifestyle. Very different. Terry tries to tell him to get lost, but when Terry's new girlfriend Cheyenne ends up seeing John, she invites him into the party she's having for her new app that's launching. After chit-chatting with Terry's new group of friends, it becomes obvious to John just how much Terry has changed. He finally is able to get Terry alone, and he starts pitching Terry on the whole new generation of Cobra Kai that needs his help. He tells him how Johnny and Daniel have teamed up and he needs a partner. But Terry says no. He tells Kreese, back in the 80s, I thought I could conquer the world. In reality, I was so hopped up on coke and revenge that I tortured a teenager. I worked hard to build my life back up. I'm not going back. Right before he leaves, Kreese tells Terry, going off into the sunset, that might work for you, but I still have some fight left in me. And that statement sits with Terry, to where when Cheyenne asks him to go grab a bottle of wine, he does, but he sees another bottle lying there, and he spin kicks it. So, yeah, he still got it. Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought this sucked. Make sure to be nice in the comment section. If you don't see the next video up in the end screen there, I'll get it up in a few days, not to worry. And I have merchandise, so go buy a mug or something. It's never too early to think about Christmas gifts, folks. But once again, thank you for checking out this recap.